Yeah, hello everyone. This is Dr. K. Jagannayaki, Associate Professor in MBA Department, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Dundigal. So today I want to discuss about a topic research and research methodology. So every day we used to see that we need to find a lot of solutions to the problems. It may be related to our real life situations. Even in business organizations also generally we used to find so many issues. So to resolve those issues, we need to apply different types of statistical tools and techniques. So at the end of the particular topic, the student can able to understand what do you mean by research and how a research process to be carried out with various problems along with their solutions and different types of research designs and research techniques, what we are going to apply in our day-to-day life, everything he can able to understand. So coming to research, what do you mean by research? Research in common parallelisms, we used to say search for knowledge. In simple term, if you want to say about research is to define search for knowledge. So simply acquiring knowledge, it never call it as a research, but finding solution to a problem, answers to questions, everything is known as research. So in simple terms, if you want to define research, it is a purposive investigation. Search for knowledge. We used to collect the facts about various things. It is a journey of a known phenomena to an unknown phenomena. So it is pursuit of knowledge. So all these things is known as research. See, research refers to simple terms. We can define research as a search for knowledge, a systematic and scientific approach. See, research always demands for the validity and reliability of data. So science always it asks for evidence. See, if you are going to prove something, you are giving a generalized statement or a concluding statement, immediately science asks, where is the evidence? So in that sense, we can define research as a scientific and systematic search for pertinent information on a specific topic. See, it is like voyage of discovery. It is a journey. What exactly researchers will do means they used to dig hidden facts by way of research. See, in simple terms, we can also define it as it is a movement from the known to unknown. See, even in case of academics, people they used to carry out research to acquire some degrees. So these are various purposes of research. So the meaning and concept of research and research methodology. See, research is like acquiring a knowledge, whereas methodology means how to carry out research. It involves various steps. So a research methodology is like specific techniques, what exactly we are going to use in the research process right from the beginning, including data collection, assembling and evaluation of data and everything. So it includes those tools like primary and secondary data sources by way of conducting some sort of survey. We can conduct by using observation method, by conducting personal interviews. We used to collect the information. So that collected information further we used to classify and we used to segregate the data as per the relevance of a particular concept. See, the process that is used to collect information and data for the purpose of making business decisions. See, research is not only related to one specific field. Everywhere we can use research because human is like he want to acquire some knowledge out of some curiosity. We used to collect different types of information. And methodology, it tells us about the process and procedures, how to publish the research data, how to develop a report, how to conduct various data sources, all these things we used to apply in methodology. See, in case of data, we'll collect two types of data. One is primary, another one is secondary data. See, if you want to forecast something about the sales and some other demand and everything, basing on the historical information, we used to forecast the future sales as well as future demand towards a particular product or service. And it is the pursuit of truth with the help of study, observation, comparison of experiment. See, research may be of different types, like we'll have fundamental research, applied research, exploratory research, explanatory research, diagnostic research, clinical research. There are different kinds. It depends on the nature of study. Basing on that, we used to adapt different types of research designs. So, in short, the search for knowledge, though it is objective and systematic method, see, for every research, there should be some basis. That basis is known as hypothesis. See, by developing a hypothesis, which is an assumption, based on that, we used to carry out our research. So there are four main types of research. Basically, we used to divide research into two types. One is qualitative research, another one is quantitative research. In case of qualitative research, we used to study about the attributes or characteristics of a specific phenomena. Whereas coming to quantitative research, we used to measure certain variables or parameters which can be measurable. For example, we cannot measure honesty, affection, performance, all these things in terms of quantity. So that should be analyzed by using qualitative methods. And that type of research is known as qualitative analysis. The differences between four types like primarily related to the degree of researcher designs. So that's what I said, there are different types of research designs under which system is going to perform his study. It depends on those controllable variables. In case of certain things, some variables will be controllable and some variables beyond the control of the researcher or principal investigator. Then coming to the objectives of research, the first thing why we used to do research. The main objective or purpose of research is to gain familiarity. So familiarity to what? See, if you want to know something new, if you want to extract some new hidden information, there we will conduct some sort of survey, and that survey is known as research. And the studies with this objective in view, it is known as exploratory or formulative research studies. And because here in this study we used to explore new things, new facts. And next one is to show accurately what type of characteristic about if you want to study an individual or a situation or a group. So all these things we used to conduct different types of studies because we are going to describe the characteristics of a particular individual, a particular situation, or a group of people or group of firms. So when you are going to describe certain characteristics, that study is known as descriptive study. See, for example, while coming to college, for example, if something happened on the road, if anyone met with an accident, so immediately what we used to do, we used to explain about the situation, how it happened and everything. So that it means that you are going to describe something about the particular issue. So that is known as descriptive study. And next one is to determine the frequency with which something occurs or which is associated with something else means diagnostic research. For example, recently we have gone through the pandemic situation, COVID and all. So to find out the vaccine and all, people they have conducted different types of research. They tested on various animals and finally they will come out a solution to the coronavirus. So that type of studies are known as diagnostic research studies. And another thing is the objective of research is like to test hypothesis of causal relationship between variables. If you want to know what is the cause and effect relationship, for example, if you take price and quantity, they are inversely proportional to each other. There is an inverse relationship between price and quantity. If something happens, for example, if there is a small change in price, that leads to change in quantity demanded. So here there is an assumption. See, because science, as I told you, scientific methods always they used to test the validity and reliability of the data. Up to what extent you are true, that should be analyzed with the help of hypothesis testing. So for example, I want to know the relationship between political awareness and education, literacy levels. See, it doesn't mean the person who highly educated, he should have the knowledge about politics. So it may vary, it depends on the personal interest. Some people, even though they are illiterates, they will have more demand, more knowledge about the politics, and others may not have. So how to establish an assumption between these two things means like there is no significant association between literacy and political awareness. So with that assumption or hypothesis, I am going to start my study. So that type of studies are known as hypothesis testing research studies. Then different people, they have given different definitions for research. See, research is defined as a careful consideration of study regarding a particular concern or a problem using scientific methods. See, there are two types of methods applicable in any type of study. One is scientific, another one is unscientific method. See, unscientific method means like it is also known as arbitrary method, where it is based on the people's beliefs, traditions, cultures, all these things comes into in the study. So just without saying, so previously we used to say how solar and lunar eclipse it forms. Just a big snake, it comes and swallow the sun and moon. Then the solar and lunar eclipse it causes. But later on, the science proved that it was wrong. And if something like in the middle of sun and moon, if any other planet it will come, in that way we used to, it causes solar or lunar eclipse. So that is totally unscientific. There is no proof. Blindly people used to follow such kind of things. But coming to research, people always they used to think about scientific way. They need evidence. So this research, whatever today we are doing, everything is based on scientific methods. We used to adapt systematic procedures, systematic criteria and carrying a research process. So according to the American sociologist Earl Robert Bobby, he defined research is a systematic inquiry to describe, explain, predict, and control the observed phenomena. So it involves inductive and deductive methods. So in case of research, we'll have two methods. One is inductive method, another one is deductive method. So inductive methods are those which are used to analyze the observed phenomena. For example, I told you in case of descriptive research, see, we are trying to analyze or describe something, some issue or some situation. So that process is known as induction. Whereas coming to deductive methods, we use different types of methods to verify whatever we observed and we described there. Right? So that is the basic difference between inductive and deductive methods. So in case of inductive approaches, they are associated purely with qualitative research. As I told you, descriptive research, we used to describe certain characteristics or attributes. Characteristics means the qualities, whatever we are going to discuss. So everything concerned with some sort of characteristics. So inductive approaches, whatever you are going to apply, different methods that are associated with qualitative research. All those models are comes under inductive research. And another methods are there which can be measurable. So in case of quantitative research, we can able to measure the height of a person, salary, average salary of a person, everything we can measure in terms of quantity. So there we used to apply deductive methods. See, one of the most important aspect of research is that the statistics, whatever we are going to use, the methods, it may be of two kinds. One, you may get conclusions or you will come out with a result. So it is about the thought, how it goes behind the research. Whether you are concerned with qualitative research or quantitative research. Basing on that, these two approaches, they depends on the particular research study. Then research is carried out with a purpose to understand what exactly the business organizations they used to do by conducting research. So the purpose is the organizations or businesses they want to test whether what exactly they want to find out. For example, the sales are decreasing. So immediately the sales manager, what he is going to do, he used to conduct a survey, market survey, which is known as market research. So with the help of that market research, he can able to find out what are the reasons for decrease in sales. So once he collects some information from the market by approaching his potential customers, then he try to analyze those data by using some statistical tools. He will come out with a solution. Then, basing on that research, he will take necessary steps to improve sales further. That is the first thing. Another thing when is the business or research, what is the purpose means we can able to develop some processes exclusively. For example, if you are having a new innovative idea, so having an idea with you, it is not going to work out. When you are going to put it into action, when you are going to implement the idea, then we need to follow some process. So with the help of research, how effectively we can able to implement the idea, that is also possible. And sometimes we need to develop a new concept. There also research is mandatory. And to collect some sort of evidences, because people always they need evidence. So whatever concept you are going to develop by having an innovative creative idea, so immediately you can able to show the evidence to the people. So for all these things we need research. Then coming to the characteristics of research. See, first thing, as we know, it is search for knowledge. So there should be some systematic procedure to collect the data, to analyze the data, and to find solutions to various problems. So whatever rules and procedures you are going to apply in the research, so they are rigid in nature. So strictly we need to follow some sort of ethics while carrying out the research, and there should be well defined and documented process, and we need to set objectives as well as hypotheses. See, objective means what is the purpose? The purpose clearly defined. It should be clearly defined, and that should be tested by taking some of the assumptions. Those assumptions are known as hypotheses. So that's what we have to test by way of significance. And researchers need practice to ethics and code of conduct. So like all other professions, even researchers also some sort of ethics they have to follow, and they will have their own code of conduct. And we need to observe the things, and whatever we used to observe, that should be conducted in direct and indirect way, and the collected data should be analyzed properly, and we need to draw conclusions by way of statistical inferences, sometimes by taking generalized conclusions. Then we need to establish a logical reasoning. For example, if you are taking price and demand, there is a logical relationship. They are inversely proportional to each other. If price increases, quantity decreases. If quantity decreases, price increases. So there is some sort of logical relationship between two variables that we need to establish with the help of research. Then it involves both inductive and deductive methods. The data, whatever we have collected, it should be in real time. So we should not rely on past data. So what is happening in the present, and just by using some cases we need to rely on historical data, but some cases we need to have updated information. Basing on that, we can plan for the future. Then only we need to consider the factual observations, that too in a natural environment. And sometimes we need to conduct in-depth analysis, and there should not be any type of like anomalies associated, and more opportunities or scope will be there. If you are going to do some research, further scope will be there. Other people also, they can continue where you have stopped your research, right? That scope should be created by the researcher, and it is always analytical in nature, and as per as concerned, try to avoid ambiguity in establishing interferences, and accurate and truthful facts we need to collect. So these are the basic characteristics of research. Then coming to types of research. See, we have different types of research. So the first one is like basic research. Basic means fundamental. So basic research, it is mostly conducted in for the cases of like if you want to know the new insights, for example, some theorems already established by people. If you want to add something else to the existed things, that should be carried out with the help of basic research. It covers the basic aspects of the research, and the main thing is if you want to explore your knowledge, in that case we'll go with basic research. It is not commercial research and does not facilitate in creating or inventing anything. So basic research is that just we need to add some more feathers in your crown just by enhancing knowledge, and nothing you are going to invent or nothing you are going to come out with a new concept, new theory or new product or new services. Just we used to conduct an experiment in R&D labs and not add anything. Just we used to conduct the experiment, but nothing you are going to gain with that type of research. Then second type is like applied research. So it focuses only on analyzing and solving real life problems. See, if there is an issue in the organization, so by conducting some research, just collecting some information that should be analyzed, and with the analyzed data, by using some appropriate statistical methods, we can able to solve the real life problems. And it helps solve practical problems using scientific methods and plays an important role in solving issues for the benefit of mankind. Example, I said previously about the vaccination about corona. So they have conducted applied research, because whenever you are coming out with a new drug, medicine or vaccine, in that case they used to go with applied research. Then next one is problem oriented research. See, as the name itself, it tells us it is problem oriented research. So just we used to understand what type of nature it is, how this problem arose, and how to get solutions to the problems. So it may be anything, maybe due to differences of opinion, if something happens in the organization. So moreover, if you take the revenue of an automobile company, all of it drastically fall down, then immediately they used to conduct one research to understand where they are lagging, where is the fault, whether it is in production process, maybe in quality aspects or in promotional aspects, how. So that should be identified in case of problem oriented research. Then coming to problem solving, see, every strategic business unit, they will have problems in their day-to-day life. So to understand and resolve their own problems, so they used to adapt different types of scientific tools. By way of applied research, they used to find solutions to the existing problems. Then qualitative and quantitative research. So qualitative research means we used to describe the qualities of a particular person, an organization, it may be anything. So it is like an inquiry and in-depth understanding of the problems or issues in their natural settings. So when you are going to conduct qualitative research, see, for qualitative research, the qualities which cannot be measurable in quantity, So we cannot quantify the data. So it is purely a non-statistical research method. It depends on the experience of the researcher, how well he can able to analyze particular phenomena. Basing on that, he used to conduct the qualitative research. The questions are always probe the sample, so you cannot carry out the study for whole universe or a population. So from a population, we used to consider only some part of the entire population which possess the similar characteristics. So in general, the sample size, it is like very small in size, around 6 to 10 people we used to consider, and we used to concern with open ended questions and gather more information from the sample, and how we used to analyze this collected data from different samples. See, methods that are used for qualitative research are one-to-one interview or in-depth and interviews. So sometimes we need to conduct interviews directly with the respondents. So whenever you are going to do some investigation, we have to approach directly to the people. And some cases, if necessary, we also will conduct in-depth interviews. And sometimes we used to focus only a particular group of people. And ethnographic research, one is another method, and content analysis and case study also we'll consider, and observation methods. All these things, they are part of qualitative research methods. Then coming to quantitative research, the structured data and analysis draw conclusion. In case of quantitative research, we used to study the variables which can be measurable. So we used to apply different types of statistics to test the hypothesis, to collect the data and analyze. So quantity is all about, it is concerned with numbers, right? So if you want to measure the financial performance, we can measure with the help of number, which is part of profits, right? So how can we measure the salary of a person? Again, we used to mention in terms of numbers. So in quantitative research, we use some numbers. So it uses close-ended questions, whereas in case of qualitative research, it is concerned with open-ended questions, whereas in quantitative research, we'll go with close-end questions. And online surveys, we used to conduct questionnaires. Sometimes we need to collect opinion polls from the people and media coverage, everything. So all these things comes under quantitative research.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.